Oh my gosh. Hi, you guys. Okay, so I'm also recording for my podcast. So, thanks for listening to Submissive Goddess podcast. Hello. For my podcast, I'm also recording for my Patreon. So, everybody bear with me. I'm going to try not to pay attention to this. This is just blowing my mind. Like, honestly, I never thought I would be recording for video, to be completely honest. I don't like vlogs. I like pictures of myself if I take them. So this video thing is going to be new to me, okay? Excuse my facial expressions. I'm a very facial person. So I thought today we could talk about why I started my vlog in the first place. Well, not vlog, but podcast in the first place. I have a lot to say on the timeline all the time, okay? And I'm sorry if I'm being washed out, the sun, the ring light. Bear with me. This is our first episode. Bear with me, okay? So, I already had my group on Telegram, right? So anybody that was Black and I could prove they were Black, I added them to the group. I thought it would be a good way for us to vent, talk, get our ideas and shit out without having to be censored by Twitter, Instagram, whatever, okay? That went well for about a year. And then it just started to kind of die off. And I was just like, nah, I'm straight. I don't like to do anything that's going to fail. So I ended it just about a month or so ago. Those people are great. I had about 3 different groups in there. I would kick people out if they were. That sounds horrible, but I'm kind of a dictator and I'm okay with that. I kicked a lot of people out because I kind of felt like they weren't adding to the group or they weren't being productive. Some people weren't donating. We would donate to different charities, Black charities and stuff like that throughout the year. Some people didn't donate. Some people just weren't adding to the conversation. Some people were never there and I felt like they were being spies. So I kicked them. Okay. But so that was that. But then I was like, you know what? I have a lot to say. Let me go ahead and start a podcast. Now at that time I was dating somebody or seeing somebody or fucking somebody, whatever. Let's be honest, whatever. And he already had his podcast. So he was like, hey, you got a lot to say. Why don't you do a podcast as well? And I was like, no, I don't really want to do that because I'm not really that type of person to be out here telling shit, being completely honest on this type of stuff. And because I know how people are, they'll try to find you, dox you, be very weird. Everybody has their own opinion, right? So I felt like people get a little weird, a little crazy, and I didn't want my opinion to be something that people felt like they wanted to hurt me for, if that makes sense. But I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And honestly, I think it's been like a year as of August. I think it was a year. And so far, it's been great. Like, I just looked at one of my, what is that? One of the podcasts, I think my first one, I want to say it had 400 listeners. I think that's good. Some people think that's small, but I'm a small podcast, right? I'm a small podcast. So my very first one, I think, has like 400 listeners or plays, 400 plays, right? So I was like, that's interesting. And I could be wrong. You guys can go look, whatever. But I think the one that has the least amount is the one I just posted because it hasn't been out there that long. But I mean, I was like, shit, y'all love it? Y'all, hey, cool. I just thought my podcast would be something that I could, I'm being nosy, my window's wide open. I just thought my podcast was something that I could actually be honest with. It's like almost like a diary, stuff that, like I said, I couldn't say online. And also I felt like people wanted to hear from a woman's perspective on a lot of stuff. So I was like, hey, let's do this shit. And here we are. Okay. I have had to delete some things, which I feel like everything that goes in my life and I put on my podcast is it's the stepping stone to the next thing. So I don't like to delete stuff, but it was just a lot of drama with that individual that told me to get the podcast in the first place and his life. And as of right now, we're social, but I would never dibble dabble backwards and go backwards. Everybody's an ex or a ex fling or whatever for a reason. Always remember that. Never double back, never go backwards. Always forward, right? So now that we got that out the way, oh my gosh, okay, I guess I have to say something like, for my vlog, you're watching Submissive Goddess vlog instead of you're listening to Submissive Goddess podcast. And I have to kind of get that down, but we'll do both because I'm doing the podcast at the same time as the vlog because I refuse to repeat my fucking shit over twice. So 2 birds, 1 stone. Here we go. So today I thought we should talk about men and women in the relationship, right? I feel like this would be a good first episode for my vlog and a continuation of what I've been saying on my podcast. And I really hope my son does not walk the fuck in here, because then I would have to stop, edit that out, and I just feel like we can do this in a one take Drake. All right, let's go. So, does your woman have your back? Ooh, where's my phone? Oh, I'm using my phone. Goodness gracious. All right, so this is the thing. When I ask a man, do you feel like she has your back? Do you feel like if anything happens, she's gonna be there with you still? Men usually say yeah, right? But there are some men that they don't know. They're not 100% sure, right? And I was in a space recently, and these Twitter spaces are so counterproductive. Like, it's almost like we unwind ourselves and go backwards in these spaces, right? I heard a woman say that she would love her man or husband, and she felt like if anything ever happened to him, she would just leave. And people were like, wait a second, what do you mean? She was like, yeah, I don't feel like I should have to pay for stuff, get a job if she doesn't have a job already, and be then the head of the household if something happens to him, financially, physically, mentally, you know? She said she doesn't feel like she should have to. I just can't. She felt like she didn't have to take care of anything. She would just leave. It's not her responsibility as a woman. Now, I'm traditional, all right? But that threw me. And I'm like, this bitch is a whore. She's only after the money. And if everything is good, I mean, she is a whore. She does have an OnlyFans. So she is selling her body. That's one thing. She's a prostitute. However, her mental, that shit, her lifestyle has snuck into her mental, in a sense of, if a man is taking care of you and something happens, no one can control these things. Something happens, you're not going to have his back because you have to stand up and be a woman and take care of your man for whatever, you know, whether it's taking care of him. Maybe he has a savings. Maybe y'all are good savings wise, but maybe you have to take care of him physically or mentally. Maybe he's not all there because of the situation. And she said she would just not do that. It's just not something that she would be willing to do. And I'm like, dang, that's called conditional love. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I get some women think this way, but bro, this is what men need to do. They need to start vetting and asking these types of questions. Do you have my back through thick and thin? And honestly, I don't think a woman would be honest if she realizes like, hey, if I say I don't have his back unconditionally, then maybe he might leave me. I can't continue to get these purses, these bags, these trips, whatever. So maybe they'll lie. Hopefully these bitches will be honest. But when I heard that, I'm like, wow. So she said he should have a savings. But what happens when the savings runs out? Or you guys have to cut back on those trips. You guys have to cut back on a lot of different stuff. Maybe you have to watch cable instead of Hulu or Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Maybe these are the things that you got to cut back on. And she said no. Like, she just like, no, I'm not doing it. And I mean, they did scold her a bit, which is what she deserves. Like, that's ridiculous. Don't date people if you're not going to have their back. Don't marry people if you're not going to have their back, right? That makes sense to me. I'm not 100% sure why this is not making sense to other people, but anyway, so does your woman have your back? And this is a good thing for men to like I guess women too, to kind of have like a checklist. Okay, is he going to do this? You should already have this, but is he going to do this? Is he going to do this? Is she going to do this? Is she going to stay in case of this? It was something on Twitter where a guy was saying, hey, I tricked my wife and I'm getting a divorce. And I was like, what the fuck? So the post said, hey, it was in a text message. They were texting. He said, hey, I've been going through it mentally. I haven't told you. However, I'm going to go ahead and quit my job. Or he said he already quit his job. And he was just like, I'm done. I need a mental break about a year. And she's like, what do you mean? Please tell me you're joking. He said, no, I'm serious. He was like, our savings and stuff should get us through, but I'm definitely going to need you to go to work. And well, I think she was already working, but he was like, I need you to just hold the reins. You got this. You're steering the ship. And she said, no, I want a divorce. I'm like, oh my God. He was like, why would you want a divorce? He said, this job is taking a toll on me. Like, I need you right now. And of course they had kids. And she said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm getting a divorce. She said, you will be all right. She was like, get therapy. He said, I've been going to therapy and I just decided this, like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it anymore. And I'm just sitting here like, although this is a ploy, it's a test. She doesn't know it's a test. This is her real feelings. But they're married. How do you not know? How do you not know a woman's going to move like this? Like, y'all not vetting these women hard enough. It just doesn't make sense to me, right? So she was like, well, I want a divorce. You can move your stuff out. I'm like, you're going to kick the man out the house after he done said that he's going to quit his job and for mental reasons. He wants you to hold on, to the household. You're the head of the house now, financially. And you're also going to kick nigga out? Oh, wow. These bitches crazy. I said, yo. And he said, you know what? It was all a joke. I just wanted to see how you would react. And now I know. And he was like, you can pack your stuff and we're done. And she was like, oh, baby, I was just joking. Of course, I would let you take that year off if you need. He was like, no, you already showed the two colors. I'm done. I'm like, good for you. What the fuck? What the fuck? Women are really like that too. Super conditional love type vibes. But this is the thing. We're supposed to be loved unconditionally as women, right? I've hit men. I'm not proud of any of this shit. I've said some really foul things about exes and stuff. I've done weird stuff. As being young, I'm like, he's gonna still love me and fuck me tomorrow. So what? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if we end up breaking up, I can sweet talk him and get him back. You see what I'm saying? This is how some women think. And it's very sickening, but yeah. What does a wife do that a man needs? I've had this question presented to me in spaces, and it's funny because you have to really think, right? It's not funny, but it is, because as a man, if he has all of the shit, he has the money, the house, the car, the career, the status. What does a woman bring to the table? And a man said, don't say, if he's educated and stuff, he was like, don't say anything that I said. So meaning anything that man has, anything that man is already doing for himself, what can you do? He's cooking, he's cleaning, or he's eating out and he has a maid service. Even then, he still won't need you, right? He might want to, excuse me. He might want to save money, right? And have you do it instead of the maid service or whatever. But if he's already got that handle, what do you bring to the table? And I had to sit and actually think for a second, right? And I'm like, wow, that's true. And women were like, of course, for mental support. And he was like, get the fuck out of here. And this is my thing. True, we're here for mental support. Don't get me wrong. However, if a man is mentally sane, bitch, you're hitting the door because you're not adding any value to that man's life, right? So I made a little list. It's very small. Because, honestly, if a man has all of this stuff, which he should anyway, and a woman should anyway, it's like, what are you bringing that's not basically monetary or like physical, right? But then there are some physical things on my list. So I put peace, of course. I feel like a man should have his own peace in the first place. But if a woman brings more peace, kind of knocks boundaries out of his way before he even sees it, you know what I'm saying? then I feel like that's a form of peace. But a man can't really do that himself. Does that make sense? Okay. Carries on your order to the household. And I always thought it was like a totem pole, for lack of a better word, right? Of a man has a house. This is how it should go. A man has a house. He brings a woman into the house. They're married, right? Then they have children. Okay. Then they have children, right? And that woman is to tell whatever the man wants, the woman is to tell the children, right? And then within however he wants to reign on his whole house, his whole being, that's what the woman under him does, and tells the children what to do, because that's what the man said. Does that make sense? So a man runs everything. He's the head. He's thinking, and everything is being told and done by the neck, which is the woman. And all of this is just everything else. Children, life, house, whatever, right? So a woman should be sitting here and making sure that the house is in order. He should not have to worry about any of that. He should be bringing in the money, being the provider and the protector, right? Now, to an extent, a man will raise children. To an extent, like, oh, go ask your dad, or we're gonna have a talk with your dad, and then he does his little spiel. He talks his shit to the child or do whatever, and that's handled, but for the most part, a woman should be raising the child. And until it's to the point where there's no respect, or there's something special needed for the child, meaning maybe a young girl is starting to say she wants a boyfriend, or the boy child is acting up, or something like that, or just clearly becoming a boy and he needs his father more, if that makes sense. So a caretaker, obviously, for him, and let's say his mother is sick and she has to move into the house, she will be taking care of the mother, not the man. Does that make sense? So a caretaker, as well as for the children, a child bearer, because obviously men can't have children. Men can't have children. Anyways, so a close opinion, right? Very close opinion. I feel like some men do want their wives' opinion on certain things. Not all things, but a lot of things. So if it's a manly type conversation, of course, he wouldn't run to his wife. But if there's something that he truly is wrecking his brain, but he doesn't want everybody to know his business, 110%. He would ask his wife. That's his queen. That's his second. That's like his second in command, right? So, a second set of eyes on things. Kind of the same thing as what I just said, but more of, like I said, a barrier. He doesn't have to worry about a lot of shit. A lot of stuff goes through her first. You don't want somebody that's operating everything to be stressed, right? You don't want somebody, and this goes both ways, yes, but for the lack of a better understanding on this, we're just going to talk about this, okay? So a woman should be that barrier for that man, and vice versa, cool. But for this conversation, he should not be stressed, right? You should have everything handled. Only time you should bother a man with trivial things like housework, children, shit like that, is if it's very, very, very important. And that's just how I stand on it, right? That's just me. A lot of people feel like the man should be protecting the woman from all things, and she should never have to worry about anything. I understand that too, but if he's taking care of the house, in a sense of financials, taking care of you, your kids don't have to want for anything, why would you want to stress him? So he'll have to take time off of work. That's less money in the house. He's stressed out. Maybe he'll make a mistake at work. That's you can get fired for shit like that, depending on where you work. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say this man is always into his laptop and you're always bothering him with bullshit. He can't focus now. He's making less money and you're stressing him out. And now he's starting to think, are you more of an asset than anything else? Like, you're causing more trouble than anything else. If you can't handle the children, you can't handle the household and shit like that, why are you here? Because I can get somebody to, honestly, niggas can buy sex. I feel like a man of value wouldn't. However, I feel like, okay, you're giving me sex, but I could buy that, right? You are the mother of my children, so I want you to do that. but you're making my life more stressful than it was before you came in, and that's just not what niggas be wanting, right? So, all right. Women want to be brides, not wives. I heard that saying months ago, and I'm like, there might be some truth to it, because after listening to a lot of these people in these spaces, it's becoming apparent that these women really love these rings, the wedding gowns, and the perks. You know, taking pictures of the ring and, you know, your nails done and stuff. Stunting on other hoes that haven't been married yet. And it's just like, but what are you doing for... Are your roles changing from being a girlfriend to a wife? And a lot of times women said no. And I'm like, this is insane. You know what I'm saying? It really is weird. And I just don't understand. Basically, as a girlfriend, you're fun. You're fucking, you're taking trips, you're doing stuff, right? But a wife is way more than that, right? And I'm sorry if y'all hear this loud ass jet in the fucking background. But, what was I saying? So a girlfriend has really no responsibility, just sex, hanging out, and don't cheat, right? It's very simple. I think it's very simple. Loyalty, right? So as a wife, it will go up tremendously. I feel like now he's looking to you to be that close confidant, right? Bring peace to his life, have order in the household, and bear him children, amongst other things, because every man is different, right? So my thing is this. If you feel like being a girlfriend is too hard, why the fuck do you want to be a wife? And this is why it's like, okay, these women don't want to be wives, they want to be brides. And I've heard this so many times where women's like, why do I have to do that? Why is the man not doing it? And I'm like, but that's a woman's job. No, it's not. It's a 50-50 thing. And I'm like, goodness gracious. If he wanted to go 50-50, he might as well stay by himself. Honestly, a man can survive doing 50% of shit and then hiring somebody else to do the rest. Does that make sense? So if he wants to half-ass clean his house, he'll just hire a maid service and do something else. Or he'll have one of his girlfriends come over and do the rest or whatever, right? I mean, I know guys like that. That'll have their girlfriend come over and clean, or just a joint that they fucking come over and clean. Throw some good dick on her, take her out to the steakhouse, and it's done. And it's not as much lip and it's not as much bullshit as a bride would be giving her husband. People need to think like, okay, what am I getting married for? Is it because I want this? Like, I want his last name. I want to make his life easier. I want to give him children. I want to populate the earth with this man's seed. I love this man. Also, I want the assets. I want the sparkling things. Like, all of that stuff does matter, don't get me wrong, because marriage, Western marriage, is just a big ass contract. That's really all it is, right? So contractual shit, love, wanting to populate the earth, wanting to have this man's name move on, his legacy. You want to help this man create his legacy. If you're not willing to do those things and shut the fuck up while doing it, you want to just be a bride. You don't want to be a wife. And that's just what that is. I mean, a lot of people feel like, well, a lot of women anyway, and it's some men too, because we have some kappas. Straight kappas, okay? These men want to cap from women 24/7, and anything a woman says is correct, even if she's dead wrong, right? So some men would say, well, a wife don't have to do anything. She just have to sit and look pretty, and that's fine, right? But when you have kids with this woman, what then? It no longer matters. Like, oh no, she can still sit pretty. Who's taking care of the kids? Who's taking care of your legacy? Only thing I'm saying is when you marry somebody, that person becomes part of your legacy, right? And they have to help you carry on that legacy. So if y'all not one mentally, what's the purpose? Like, the legacy is already starting to crumble because you done added somebody to the mix that don't even have the same moral code as you, more like values or anything. To me, that's stupid. That's really stupid. But it's a lot of guys out here that are married to women that don't carry their moral code, whores, Obviously, I mean, some men, I was in a space and a guy actually did say that he would have no problem marrying a wife and a hoe. And I'm just like, boy. He was like, well, I know a hoe that used to be a hoe back in the day, and now she has her RN, degree, and she's a stripper. She out here doing her thing. And I'm like, oh boy, like I just don't get it. But those are the types of men that we would call beta, simp, whatever, right? Those are the types of men that make hoes relevant, and people are gonna continue. It's almost like a factory, supply and demand, right? It's gonna keep coming if you keep saying you need it and you like it and you want it. So it's like, damn, I don't get it. It pisses me off. Like, I'm sorry, because I'm out here. I definitely do what I'm supposed to do because I'm a lady, right? Not a whore. And then these men are saying they only want to marry. Some men are saying they only want to marry wives, good loyal women. But then you have the dumbass group over here that is saying, no, we don't care what type of woman she is. We'll wife her. And then these be the same ones typing long paragraphs to these people on Twitter or Facebook. How do I divorce my wife? I know she's cheating on me. She used to be a hoe back in the day, but I put that behind me. I thought she changed. This right here, it starts here. You create, a lot of times we create our own fucking chaos, right? So it's like, if you know for sure somebody has a past, maybe they could change, but are you willing to put your legacy on the line for that? You willing to put your mental health on the line for that? For somebody that don't even respect themselves. You want them, they've been hoeing for years. You're going to wife them and think that the ring is going to change. She's a bride. She's still a whore. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyways, whatever. I had a conversation with a few women, and they actually do think that paying for pussy, we're going to talk about sexually. Like, if you are having sex with a man, should he splurge, gifts, trips, etc., dinners, because you gave him vagina? And this is what I say when I tell men, please vet these women better, because these women are in full-blown relationships and they're happy, and men are happy. So they're saying these men are happy, right? And I'm just like, okay, so if your man gives you dick, that's not a gift. That's not good. No. I'm like, but it's consensual. You're getting dick. He's getting pussy. That offsets anything. That's equal, right? 1 + 1. That's equal. Said no, because I'm a woman. You penetrate me. I'm a woman. You penetrate me. So you have to give me gifts, show me affection, show me all these things, because I'm giving you pussy. And I'm just like, wow. This is what happens when women think that their body is better and it's better than a penis, right? They feel like, okay, we have a womb, so we do create. We definitely do. But don't get me wrong, you have to have a sperm, which comes out of a penis, which comes with a man, to have children, right? So it's like a yin and yang type thing. One can't survive without the other. But these women in this day and age feel like their pussy can create children without a man. So the pedestal is up here and the pussy is just further up, right? It's just further up. So they feel like they have to be wined and dined to get the pussy, for the man to get the pussy. And then on top of that, continue to wine and dine me all off the strength that I decided to pick you and give you this vagina. And to me, that sounds like you should be saving your pussy for somebody that wants to wine, dine, and wife you and then give it up to that man. You just holding out for gifts and trips and dinners. You're not holding out because you really think your shit is worth all that. In my opinion, they just doing it off the strength that they have the vagina. They're not even saying it's worth all that, because if it was worth all that, why would you be giving it up for an $80 dinner at the steakhouse? That doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. Anywho, all right, so my time is about to run out on here. So thank you guys for listening to Submissive Goddess podcast, and I will see you in the next one. This was a short and sweet, basically, for the podcast. I definitely will be recording soon. I'm not 100% sure when. Gotta edit this video for the vlog. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And sorry it ended so abruptly, but I'm recording on my laptop and they only give you 30 minutes versus an hour. Anyway, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Okay, so hi, it's just us now. All right, but basically that was the last thing on my list, but I don't think a man should be having to pay. I just don't. I don't think a man should be having to pay for pussy. Once you have to pay for it, to me, and I know this might sound backwards, but it loses its value. Vagina should only be given to a man that you love and you're respecting and you're dating, in my mind, right? When you put a price, because honestly, no price is ever going to be high enough for a body part. Does that make sense? So if you're sitting here saying, this nigga paid, I don't know, thousands and thousands of dollars for this pussy, and I'm like, I hear you, sis. I hear you. But when you're putting a value on your pussy, it makes it sound cheap. To me, $1 million wouldn't even be enough for you to buy my vagina. $1 million wouldn't even be enough for you to buy my heart or anything. Not even loyalty to me. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, but I get how some people feel like $1 million. I don't have that. I'll definitely sell a kidney, a liver, my pussy, my asshole. Like, they don't care as long as they can ball hard after. They feel like, oh, well, at least I'm getting paid. And that's what a lot of whores say. Well, somebody asked me yesterday, hey, well, at least they're getting paid. You're giving away for free. I have sex because I love the person, because I want to be with them, because I like them. I see something in them. It's not, everything doesn't have to revolve around money, right? But I guess in 2021 it does. So, but I just really wanted to test this out, right? We're at 31 minutes. I really wanted to test this out and see how long it'll take me to edit, get the intro and outro, which I hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed making it. It was really cute. Of course, they're so easy to make. And I had to buy a $10 subscription. So I probably more than likely will be using it a lot and maybe switching my intros up here and there. I'm not sure yet. But we'll definitely see. We're going to play with this a lot. We're going to really play with this. I have to get my presence on the camera a little bit more, like get that down. I gotta go be a mom. He just yelled, so he's in there getting mad at the game. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. You guys get to see my face, see all this hand movement stuff, my facial expressions, all that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. You know. Some people think I'm a catfish. I'm not. Anyways, man. Definitely got to work today. Because I feel like, listen, I ended this on the podcast. This is exclusive. I'm not posting this type of stuff on YouTube. I feel like with YouTube, it would be more of a, an ad, like a marketing type thing, right? Where I'll be able to take clips and put it into a video and of this, whatever, and show people what you'll have to pay for over there. Like, I'm not going to post 100% of my shit over there because people don't have to pay me up front to do it. And I feel like that's stupid. Plus, a lot of people troll hard. And I just don't have time for that. Because a lot of the shit that I say, if you listen to my podcast, you already know. I don't hold my tongue. So I really don't want a hate juju, hate submissive goddess page over there. I don't know. I like to keep my peace intact. I know what to do and what not to do in order to keep my peace, right? That makes sense. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching Submissive Goddess vlog. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. And oh, let me explain. I should have did this in the beginning. But so there are two different types of subscriptions for my Patreon. And it's the demigod, which you don't really get any exclusive content, nothing like that. But then there's the goddess bundle. And after 3 subscriptions or 3 months recurring payments, you get a mug that says Submissive Goddess Podcast on it. Just a quick little art thing that I did. Nothing major, just something for you to drink out of. That's it. I'm not an artist, okay? You get to join the lives ask questions, send me DMs. It's a whole bunch. It's a whole list. If you look at it, it's a whole list. And I'm pretty sure you guys already saw that because you wouldn't be watching this if you didn't. But I feel like I should explain. I should have explained it to my podcast. But this is raw. I won't have to edit because my son didn't come in here. So I'm a happy camper. I'm a happy camper. I'm happy right now. You guys get to get what you want. I get to say what I want to say. And we're all happy at the end of the day. So, send me some DMs about what you wanted me to talk about. Basically, what I was going to do was go through my podcast episodes and just redo them up here. Does that make sense? So, you guys let me know what you want to talk about, what you want to see. No funny shit, no horror shit, no weird shit. Okay? Don't play with me. Anyways, see you guys in the next one. Bye.